the new Market Analyzer 7 product. So great to have you all on board, and hopefully we'll be able to share you some information tonight that will bring you up to speed on the new Market Analyzer 7. We'll be underway in a couple of minutes, so please sit down, make yourself comfortable this evening. We're proud to announce the release of the Market Analyzer 7 trading platform. This represents a major upgrade to what's been available previously. Most of you will be familiar with the Market Analyzer 6 platform, while we're taking that a step further with Market Analyzer 7. You'll see a dramatic increase in the speed of the platform and also the reliability, less crashes and less frustration in that area. My name's Jeff Cartridge. I'll be running through the presentation this evening, and we aim to run through tonight just a bit introduction to the platform, getting started. This is the first of a series of webinars which will be run over the next month, aspects of the program. But for tonight, what we're going to do is take a walk around and just have a look at where things are and how to find things in the new platform, and the basic functionality of getting a watch list and how do you get a chart up and things like that. So we're going to keep it quite simple tonight. There will be more advanced webinars coming up where we'll go into more detail on how to do things like weekly scans, how to take a watch list from a sector or a segment of the market and create a watch list out of that, and many other aspects of the platform that you can use. But tonight we're going to keep it simple, and for those that are new to the platform, great opportunity to get started with the platform. So Market Analyzer 7 is our new release. As we go through the presentation, please feel free to ask any questions and simply type in a question. The presentation this evening will be recorded, so there'll be an opportunity to review it and go back over anything that you may miss. But also, the questions as we go through the presentation, I'll attempt to answer those. If for any reason I can't answer some of those questions, then I'll come back to them at the end, and if I miss them or we're off on another track, I'll come back at the end, and there'll be an opportunity of about 30 minutes answering questions at the end of the presentation as well. So just to give you an introduction to the new platform, it's based on Iris Trader, with Iris Trader providing the market data and the market data tools. But Iris Trader has very simple analysis tools, so we've combined with Iris Trader the D2MX trading tools, and what this gives is the advanced analysis that you were used to in Market Analyzer 7. So you've now got the best of Iris Trader and the reliability and the back end, the speed of Iris Trader, and the tools that you've been familiar with, things like the D2MX trade tools up here, the charting, the Analyzer Wizard, and the trading system are all part of the new package as well. So a lot of it will be very familiar when we get into that part of it, but some of it may be a bit new in the Iris Trader side if you haven't used that before. Also, to explain how the package works and just some of the mechanics behind it, which will give you a better understanding of how to find things in here, is that the D2MX trade tools are computer based. So any of these tools are on your computer. You can't go to someone else's computer and expect to have those tools available. But Iris Trader is web based. So the Iris Trader component of it can be accessed from any computer. If you're at work, you can jump on at work and check out what the market's doing. But again, when you're on the web, you won't be able to access the D2MX trading tools. You'll only have the Iris part of it there. So hopefully that makes some sense and explains why there's sort of two components or two pieces to the program. With that, when you're trying to find anything, there's two ways to do it. One up here is the window, and in the window we'll see what we've got open from Iris Trader. So in here, the window, we've got a quote, the Watchlist international markets at the moment is open, and we've got a detail, we're looking at the Hong Kong Hang Seng Index, which is in our market depth down here. So we've got those windows open. But we've also got a chart down here in the left-hand corner that's not showing in this. And that's a D2MX chart, which is down the bottom here. If we click on the Market Analyzer 7 icon, we then actually have the charts, and there's the charts of the Hong Kong index here. So the two different components are housed or kept in different places within the actual program. So that's something to be aware of when you're trying to find a screen, and we'll revisit this when we get a few more screens open a bit later on. Iris Trader is essentially based around the watch lists here, and to make it nice and simple, we've got a number of system watch lists preloaded. So if you want to know the top 20 shares in Australia, what's happening to them, well, there's that list, automatically loaded at the touch of a button. And you can expand out to the top 50, top 100, top 200 shares as well. There's also some more specific lists loaded, the ASX indices, so you can see what's happening in the different sectors of the market in here. And so you've got the mid-cap, the All Ordinaries, the ASX 20, ASX 50, and as you scroll down the list, and these are scroll buttons over here on that little white handles, you've got your materials, your emerging markets, discretionary energy, financials, healthcare, and a range of different sectors available where you can see what's happening in an individual part of the market. So that's our indices, the All Ordinaries, which is a list of all the shares in the All Ordinaries, about 330 companies. And then the international markets, which gives you a good overview of what's happening around the world. So we've got in here the Japanese market, Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and moving around the globe, France, the FTSE in the UK, and the US indices, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500. Also got the gold price, Aussie dollar, US dollar, and a range of currencies information in here as well. So all that's available under the International Markets tab. Now if you want to know anything more about a specific company or a specific area, you can do that quite simply in the platform with a right click. And this is a little bit different to what you're used to, but by right clicking on any of these in here, we can actually look closer at what's happening in that area. So if we right click on Spot Gold, we've now got a list of choices in here. And from those choices we can go to charting, we can get the market depth or course of sales, information about security, if it's a share that we're looking at, even options information as well. And moving down, we've got our creating buy orders and sell orders. So we can sell just by a right click on a particular company or share, and we can place an order right out of the platform. Now, in order to do that, you'll have to have it linked to your trader dealer account to do that. So if I was looking at the top 20, I can right click on BHP and create a buy order, and that will link up to my trader dealer account. So remember that right click on any of the shares in your watch list to find out more about a particular company. So if I wanted to find out more about CBA, right click security info, and up comes the security info for CBA. There's a range of information from your general information through dividends, adjustments, reports, and company profile. So there's a fair amount of information contained within the platform here. Right click on CBA and I can broadcast, and this pushes the information out through the platform into the windows that I have open. So when I click broadcast, you'll see that this depth comes up for CBA down the bottom right here, and the chart also changed to CBA. So I can broadcast that information to all the windows that I have open and be able to see what's going on. Coming into a quote, if there's a specific company I'm wanting to look at and it's not contained in any one of my watch lists, I can simply type in that code. So if ESI was one, type it in, and there's a list will pop up. Click on that and it will drop into the watch list. Now I can use this arrow to push into the watch list. I can hit enter on the keyboard, or I can just click on the code in the list and it will pop it into the current watch list that I'm looking at. And so there's that company, and then I can right click on it and I can go and have a look at any other information I wanted to about that company. Or I can broadcast and it can go out to all the windows that I have open. I could also add in to a watch list one of the indices. So if I had a watch list that was all materials, I could actually add in the XMJ, the code for that particular sector. So XMJ and ASX 200 materials, we'll just add that. So XMJ has now been added to the list and my watch list. Now I started out here with the top 20 shares and I keep adding things in to that watch list. If I want to keep this new watch list that I've created, I can do that by clicking on Save As. And then I can give it a name, and this is my top 20, and tell it OK. And by doing that, I've now got under User Watch Lists, my top 20, and it's appeared in there. So once I've built a watch list that I want to keep, I can save it in here. So the watch list is the sort of hub of the new platform, and from the watch list you can then go and look at more information. If I wanted to scroll through the D2MX charts, I can right click on the chart and select the watch list. And the watch list I can select from either the custom watch list that I've created or the standard ones in here. But let's have a look at my top 20, and then moving through the codes, I just click on the button to scroll through the chosen watch list. So now I can scroll through the watch list, finding the different companies and looking at what's happening in them on today's trading. So all of this should be, or the charting side of it should be fairly familiar to you, and the other side may be a little bit new. When we come into the charting, I can maximize the chart, and I can add in indicators, maximize. I can add in the indicators just as I have before. So all of those are still available. If I wanted to apply the commodity channel index, I can set up the periods, 14 days, tell it OK, and that will be applied to the chart. I can also apply other indicators in here where we've got the moving averages and apply that 3 days, tell it OK. I've got a moving average on here. If you look over at the right hand side of the chart, you'll see that Rio here is trading at around about 6467. Now 6467 seems like a huge price. It's not $6,467. It's $64.67 because the pricing is in cents. And if we go back and have a look at the watch list as well, let's scroll down and find Rio. You'll see the pricing there is also $64.67. So in here, what we've got is we've got 6,467 cents, which is $64.67, which is the current pricing. So Santos, $14.41, and it would be, it's 1,441 cents. So all the pricing in the charts is in cents, not in dollars, and that's another change from what you'd be used to and seeing in the past. So in the charting, you've also got all your pre-alerts as before. So the pre-alerts from MDS that you'd be familiar with, the accumulation indicator, you can adjust the settings on that and apply it to the chart. And then you'll get these marks in here when that is actually triggered. So that's something else that will reappear and is included in the package. Apply your volume, so the click of the button and tell it OK. And you've also got and so once you've created a chart, there's a couple of things you can do with it. In the past, you've obviously been familiar with templates, and you can use templates in it. This chart and information on this chart won't be saved unless you actually tell the computer to save it. So right-click and save the changes on this chart, and that will actually keep those changes for next time that you open the chart. The chart name, Rio, and tell it OK. The other thing that you can do is you can save it as a template. So we saved it as a chart there and save the changes, but we can save a template. If we click on Save a New Template, we can give it a name, and we could call it MA1 and tell it OK. And we now have a template down the bottom here that we've got access to. So that template allows us to actually apply that to other charts in the future. If I click on blank, we go back to the chart. If I click on the moving average one, we go back to the chart that we had. And if we continue to flick through the watch list as we were before, the template will be applied to all the shares that are in the watch list. Question from Cole: how are prices shown for stocks that trade at intervals of a decimal point? Good question. Have you got an example of one that we could have a look at? They're not stocks I follow closely, so down at sort of a few cents. Let's see, we 132, PGI. Okay, thanks, Cole. So they show the decimal point for the percent point. They're still in cents, and so 18.5 is 18.5 cents. So they're showing there in with the decimal point when you're down at that level. So they're still shown in cents, and the decimal points do display on those smaller charts. Now just moving back out to the sort of platform overall, when you right-click on a share, there's two types of charts, and again this is the difference between the Iris and the D2MX chart. So if we click on chart, that's the Iris chart there, which is a very basic chart. You can change the format and the way that it looks, but don't get that one confused with a D2MX chart, which has all the information that you're familiar with. So when you right-click, you're looking for D2MX charts to get the same charting facility that you had in MA6. And as you see here, we can open multiple charts. We can also drag them and resize them and move them around the screen to change the way that we want the screen set up for ourselves. So we can move them around, and if we prefer this layout, we can do that and resize. If you want to keep the layout that you've set up, come up to Window and save the layout. Otherwise, it will go back to the default layout which you started with, which is a chart in the left corner, market depth on the right, and the quote screen across the top. So unless you save it, which you can through Window, Save Layout, then it will maintain the way that it was. You can open as many windows as you choose and display lots of information. The pricing depth we've seen down on the bottom right already. You've got a quote ticker moving across the top of the screen up here. You can also bring up a quote screen, which is the screen that we already have in here. And you could have multiple watch lists open at any time. Under Analytics, there's a market map, which is a great visual way of looking at what's happening in the market. So what we see in here is the market map broken down by percentage movement, and the number of index points is the size of the boxes, the map area, and the map color is a percentage movement. So the brighter the color, the more movement. This one here, SFW, was up quite a lot today because it's sort of bright green. Whereas over here, dark red, we're looking at Chorus, was down today. One of the beauties of this market map is you can drill into a sector, say financials, with a double click on it. And there you've got your banks, your real estate, and your diversified financials, your insurance companies. Double click on insurance companies, and it's what you've got now is just the insurance companies. The big mover in the scheme of things today was QBE. And we've got Suncorp over there, we've got IAG and NIB, CVW down the bottom, so some of the smaller companies also. But this way you can have a look at different to the ones that are actually moving today. Question from Neil just regarding the chart changes. Is there ability to always save the chart changes as opposed to right and click? At this stage it's right click to save. That's the current setup. Things like those suggestions we'll take on board, and there will be future releases of the product, whether the autosave facility is incorporated, we can see on that one. But at this stage it's right click to save your charts to keep the information on them. Now we can zoom back out on the market map here, and we can leave that open there and get an overview of what's happening in the market. Under Analytics, you can also think of things like market activity. Now market activity is available here, but it's also available on the left of your screen as well in the standard quote list. Market activity allows me to see what's up or down today. So you can go and have a look at what were the movers today. And if we look at, say, we can look at the total market, we could look at the large cap, medium cap, small cap. Let's, for argument's sake, go and have a look at resources and who was up measured by value today. So we're looking at the highest value stocks traded today, and the biggest value trader was BHP, which is not a surprise, at $11 million today. Rio not far behind at $2 million. Biggest percentage moves up we've got here was Ramelius Resources up 33%. ATI, KMR, BZL, and see what the big movers were in that. And also the more details in here on the volumes. Down percentage, who were the big losers today? IDM Rights, Arroyo Mining, all had rough days through here. And then you can look not just in percentages, but you can also look as in plus or minuses, as in dollar terms. So gold was one of the big movers, up 53 cents today. That's in the ETF gold, not the gold spot. Newcrest Mining up $2.02 accordingly. Anglo Gold 252, and percentage up 81 cents was the gold ETF, 58 cents for Newcrest and 18 cents for Anglo Gold. So you've got a view of what's happening in the market, both with the market map as a visual one, but also being able to drill down and have a look at what's happening within the actual market and the companies in there on the daily basis. We're looking just at resources, but you could look at the overall market and gather the same information. The D2MX trading tools in here, we've got the charting, which we've had a reasonable look at. The Analyser you'll be fairly familiar with from the Market Analyzer 6. It's a great way to quickly scan the market and check out what's actually happening in the market today. And For some reason that hasn't populated. So we've got the Analyzer wizard. With the Analyzer, one of the breakthroughs in the Analyzer area is that previously the Analyzer looked at the end of day information. So what it would do is it would take a look at yesterday's trading and say, okay, these are the shares that met the information based on yesterday's criteria. A big advance here is you can now run the Analyzer and it will look at the information as of now. So if you run it in the evening when you get home from work, it's based on what happened today's trading. That's the end of day like it was. But if you run it in the middle of the day, it will tell you what meets the criteria now at that time. So instead of being based on the end of day data, the actual scans are now done intraday as well. So a big plus there, and you're not having to wait till the day ends to find out what meets your criteria. You can update it throughout the day. You can also scan for criteria that may be evolving during the day. A great tool for the intraday traders to do that. The Analyzer wizard up in here also allows you to combine different indicators, and rather than at a scan on one indicator, you can put together multiple indicators and create signals based on the criteria that you set. Now we'll run through each of these in a different presentation, but just to show you that there's all included here, and the trading system where you can run a back test is also available. So you set up your strategy in here, where do you enter, where do you exit, and then you run the strategy and you can get the results from there as well. So I won't be going into these tonight in detail because we'll cover those in a later presentation, but just being aware that they've all been included, and they're certainly a lot more they're a lot quicker than they used to be. I know I spent a lot of time using the trading system and running various tests, and it was pretty slow on some of them. They've sped up dramatically, and they do work very well in the new system, as well as having that added benefit of intraday scans. And final thing, just while we're doing this sort of look around, is the orders. And what we're looking at here is you can trade directly out of the platform. Again, linked to your trader-dealer account, but you can create your orders. You can set up contingent orders, so stop orders in the market as well, and see the status of any current orders. Just a question from Neil. Is it possible to go over toggling through charts from a specific watch list? Yeah, I certainly can do that. And then the question on the Analyzer, can the Analyzer scan weekly charts other than daily information? The Analyzer scans on a daily basis, but I will show you how in one of the future presentations how you can use the trading system. So you can actually use the trading system here to run weekly scans, because remember, weekly scans are based on historical data. So all we do is we back test on either a specific day, or we set the criteria in the trading system to actually run on a weekly basis. So the data interval there can be set to weekly, and I'll run through that in more detail when we take a look at the trading system. An entry criteria, it can be a weekly criteria, and you can run scans using a back tester to do that. And that's one of the advanced tricks we'll be talking about. But coming back to the chart, this is just a revisit on how do you go through a specific watch list on the chart. If I right-click on the chart, I select the watch list that I want to scan through. Now I can look at, say, the top 20, or I could look at any one of the ones that I've created. Let's look at the top 20 companies, and then in order to scan through them, we just use the next or the previous code in the watch list. Now before I do that, I get the template set up how I want to see what's happening. If I want to bring this down a bit, squash the volume a bit. And I want to apply another indicator, throw on Bollinger Bands, change the color. And we're on a daily chart. So what I will do now is I just pop through here and it will now move through the chosen watch list. So popping through there is AMP, ANZ, BHP, BXB, CBA, CSL, and so on. And if I wanted to go back from Macquarie and I wanted to go back and look at the previous one, I can go back to CSL. So you can very easily choose a watch list and then from that watch list scan through the charts to see what's happening. Okay, so from there, just a quick recap on the two components to the new platform, just so you get that clear in your head. It's Iris Trader, which does the basic market information tools. So things like market depth, current pricing, the fundamental information is all pulled out of Iris Trader. And then there's the D2MX tools, which are the advanced charting tools. So one of the tricks is finding them, which I said at the start, we'll just come back and take a quick look at once we get a few more windows open. And here I've got the quote, the detail, and the market map. And I can bring any one of those to the front just by clicking on the one that I want to see. So window, quote, and it brings it back to the front. Window, market map, and that brings that up. Down the bottom, I've got the Market Analyzer charts. So we've got CSL, click on that, and it brings it to the front. And we've got CSL over here, which click on that, and it also brings it to the front. So just the two different places where you're trying to find what you've got open. One is which this candle type icon, and the other is in the top under window. That's how you find things as you're getting around the program. But starting points, remembering your system watch lists are a great place to get started. When you install the program, it will automatically bring over information from your Market Analyzer 6. So any watch lists or anything that you had in Market Analyzer 6, you've got the option to import those when you first install the program. If you want to, you can actually run that tool afterwards. So if you didn't do it at the time for some reason, you can run it by going into your Start menu and doing a search for the Market Analyzer 7. Analyzer scripts charts. So from in here we can look up the actual tools. Just a question from Jenny. MA6 and MA Pro will import the things from either MA6 or MA Pro. They're just two previous versions. So if you had the previous version, then MA Pro will import from there. So you go Start, All Programs, the D2MX tools, and if you've got Windows 7, you can type in D2MX here, D2MX, and it's the upgrade tool in there. So the upgrade tool allows you to bring them your watch list, your templates. If you haven't brought them across already, then you can do it. So in order to do this, you're going to have to close the program first. So what we'll do is just close down the program here. Previous marking of Analyser installed. We'd like to import your saved charts, templates and watch lists from these versions. It may take a while if you've got lots of charts. And say yes, and it's pulling them across. Quite a few bits and pieces there. But you see the process has been automated. So this is to make the transition as easy as possible from your old platform to the new platform. Just copying the files across now to new details. All done. Click finish. And we can log back into Market Analyzer 7. Tip of the day comes up when you first enter the program. Really useful little tools and you can scroll through them. Gives you tips on how to use the new program. And there's some little tricks in here that are quite handy to make yourself familiar with. So it's certainly worth looking at. Question from Graham, how do I put US dollar on a watch list? So the easiest way, if you're not sure of a code, there's a couple of ways to do it. One is this screen here, Aussie US is already set up in here, and the code is simply AUD USD. But under quote, you've got the navigator, and you can actually search by name, USD, and we'll have a look at what comes up under that. You've got a currency warrant, AUD USD, Ausdrill, USDs and Ausdrill. We're searching on the foreign exchange market, US dollar. Oops. No. Where did it disappear to? Navigator up again. So foreign exchange, USD, search, AUD, USD. No, doesn't like that. Yeah. So bring up a share, you'd just be looking at the Aussie market, Australian Stock Exchange, type in the name, and it will give you a list of shares that have what you've typed on that. But for things like the currencies, it may be easier to find it from the watch list here, AUD USD. So if I then go to my user watch list and my energy movers, I want the Aussie US dollar. I click on quote, my energy movers watch list is up. I type in AUD USD and click on that, and it pops it into the watch list. So I can put the Aussie dollar into the watch list that I'm looking at. So that's bringing the US dollar onto the watch list there. One thing to be aware of with the new platform, when you're bringing information across from the old platform, or when you're logging in, the new platform is case sensitive with your passwords. So if you've used a capital for one of the letters, you'll need to put a capital in that space. whereas previously it didn't matter. Now it does matter, so it's important you know which is capital and which is not. Members home, under my account section, user and my account will get you back to the members home. And there's the information on how you can upgrade your subscriptions, update credit cards, etc. is all available in there. For some reason it's sitting behind the screen there. That's how you get into the members home there. It's also under the DTermX trade tools. You can get into my account through there as well. So it's also accessible through there. Oh, Graham, you're after the US dollar, the futures US dollar, not the Aussie US cross rate. The futures, just check whether that's in there. It's not actually traded on the New York Exchange, ASX futures. Graham, just with your question there, it's just a matter of finding the code for the US dollar. Equals US dollar is the futures code. It'll just be a matter of finding the exchange that it's trading on, and customer care will be able to help you with that. So if you drop them an email, customer care at MDS Financial, they'll be able to help you out with that one. Question from Richard, how do I put a user-generated portfolio on the screen? The portfolio is one area we're still working on, so that's just one thing to be aware of, is that there will be there'll be an upgrade in the portfolio area very shortly. So at the moment the portfolio is not available readily in here, but it will be coming very soon. So that's, Richard, that's one for you. You've still got access to the one in the old MA6 version or MA Pro version that you had previously, but we will be bringing that across to MA7. It's not currently available at the moment. So Cole, a question there with the Analyser. I use delayed data charts. So does Analyser during the day list stocks based on criteria chosen on data for the last period loaded on just daily charts, or on intraday charts as well, on which I set intervals of anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes. If you're using delayed data, it will look at the latest information that it has. So it won't be current information, it will be 20-minute delayed, and it will be looking at that information. Your scan is running on a daily basis, so the Analyser runs on a daily basis, but it will look up to today. So you can't scan on a 5-minute chart and go, show me this particular criteria on a 5-minute chart. But what you can do is say, show me this particular criteria on a daily basis, but it will be looking at it right now, as in now, or if you're on delayed data, it will be looking at it 20 minutes ago. So you're not scanning on intraday charts, but you're scanning on daily data up till now, what the time is now, which is when the latest piece of data that you have. Question from Neil, is it possible to run through backing up and restoring the data, please? So in order to back up the data, it's stored in My Documents. And the one that you want to back up from there, so we'll just coming in here. So you can go into Documents, you've got Market Analyzer 7, and the charts in there is the one that you want to back up. So it's nice and simple to find in your Documents, Market Analyzer 7, and the charts. So if you want to back that up, that will keep it, and any Analyzer scripts that you've created. The watch list and the portfolios are saved on the servers at MDS, so you don't have to worry about backing up any of that information because that data is stored on the computer. But your individual charts and your Analyzer scripts are kept within the Documents library, and it's just a matter of backing up that Market Analyzer 7 folder, and that will back up all your data. So are there any other questions there? We've run through, covered a bit of information tonight. Is there anything else that you've got questions on in the introduction to Market Analyzer 7 here? A question from Cole, will Iris now load intraday charts the full volume traded for the chart period, unlike previously? That's a question I'm going to have to get some help on. I'm not sure whether Ben will be able to help me with that one. With if you can email through customer care on that one, we'll have to ask the technical team specifically whether what period the time the data is up to as it pulls the volume in. So if you can email customer care and ask that question, we'll be able to get a detailed answer from the technical guys. That one's a little bit beyond what I understand. Any other questions out there that you may have? Question from Eileen or Daryl, not sure which. The My Account section is there, and why do you have to log in again into that rather than you're already logged in? It's a good question. It's not one I can answer right now, but what we'll look at is whether you need to put in another login at that point. At this stage, there's still more work happening on that page, so an auto login, given that you've logged into the platform, can probably be incorporated. So that will be certainly worth looking at rather than having to log in twice. It will have an integrated login, just from the Ben's just said that it will actually log in automatically. Okay, well, it seems like a good point to wrap up. Thank you for joining us for the presentation tonight. It is different. You're starting with a new platform. It looks a bit different. Things are in different places. It takes a bit of getting used to. But the tools that you're familiar with are here. You've still got all the information here that you had before previously. And what the advantage of the new platform is obviously a lot more reliability. Those sort of annoying data can't be found or data not available messages, they don't come up anymore, which is great. A question from Graham. I'll come back to that in a second. The other side of it is that you've still got the advanced analysis. So if you went off and used Iris Trader as is, it doesn't have the DTermX trade tools. It doesn't have your scanning capability. It doesn't have the charting, it doesn't have the pre-alerts, it doesn't have the Analyser wizard or the trading system. None of that's standard in Iris Trader. So what we've aimed to do is bring the two together and put them together, and you get the best of both worlds. And that's what we've aimed to do. The platform, is my experience, has been working very, very well. We've been obviously testing it over quite a while, and a number of you have been on beta tests as well. And it does take a bit of getting used to. It is a bit different, but it's worth persevering. If you have any questions, please ring customer care. That's what they're there for. And they have been busy, Ben said, but they're happy to help, and either drop them an email or give them a call rather than getting frustrated with how do I find that or where is it. It's very simple because they know the answers to those questions and they can get them to you. So please feel free to get hold of customer care during the transition, and they can help you out. Graham, yes, you can add information into the watch lists. There's a range of preset information in here. The dividends are currently not available, but you can get your ex-dividend date. You can get open interest, which is not relevant for shares, but for your options. You can get the last time it was updated in the Times, exercise price, exercise date for options, the exchange it's traded on, and the your ex-dividend date. The dividend itself and the dividend yield, we've got to add that information in. So it's on the list to be added. It's not currently available, but it is on the list to be added into the watch list as one of these options in here. So we will be putting that on the list and include it. The ex-dividend date does not work yet. Okay, I hadn't noticed that. Show ex-date. Spot on, Lee, you're right. Nothing in there. So again, that will actually be added in when we get the dividends in there. So we'll add that piece in. So I wish you well with your trading from here and getting familiar with the new platform. There will be a series a series of these webinars touching on different aspects of the program as we go through. So tonight was sort of an introduction, just to walk around, this is where things are, but we'll go into more detail on how to use different aspects of the program over the next month. So keep an eye on the schedule for the next webinars coming up, and I wish you all successful trading. Have a great evening.